Uh, should be a decent crash. No. Why APT? One, most related to TA, like it breaking out of almost like a year and a half accumulation from lows. Secondly, Impulse was mentioning a while ago that how they are, getting behind the RVA narrative, which is like basically why ONDO went insane. So probably I think like APT is something that you could the expect to run back the highs, and we have seen how insane APT runs have been, right? So yeah, I expect a move towards like 18-20 dollars soon on it. ING, we are already up like 30% on our buy, so we are good. Should be a decent crash. No. Yeah, I agree. Like alts gave a decent flush. Like a lot of them wicked like 15-20%. Some of them did 10%. First of all, I really hope everyone was safe. Like I'm glad that this time I didn't see, any post on how anyone got liquidated or got wrecked. Right. We like for the past 2 days have been constantly reminding to not take alts leverage right now. All in Aptos, yeah. Muza here to chill APT, yeah. I'm in good size. Like APT is my probably highest size bag right now. The last time I did was with RNDR. That went good. I sold that bag fully. Now I went good size on APT. Let's see. And I'm glad today we got this quick sell off. I got some more APT bids filled. So yeah, let's see. What about SEI? I still think like for SEI, you need to see some. I don't know the direct like fundamental correlation between Sol and SEI, but Sol, INJ, SEI, they have been always like the same buckets, same time runners in the past. I believe like once you start to see some Sol to ETH rotation and Sol starts running, and you are already seeing correlation between Sol and INJ today, right? Like you saw Sol giving you that strong buyback from the flush, and at the same time INJ started to do that too, right? So there is a good correlation between Sol, INJ, ACI, and maybe even TIA. So I have this bucket to play, but once like I need to see Sol's strength come back, and then I think ACI start runnings once again. You think AI coins just going to keep going up, or they cool off a bit? I think like a lot of the AI coins right now, right? Like WLD, GRT, um, even FET, all of them have such an like obvious three drive top, right? Same on GRT. And if you were there in like my past streams, we talked about how most of the three drive tops on strong runners in past have been like a big bait to the market, which ends up going higher, right? And I always give a lot of examples, like for example, the last time we had the three drive top on Saw, let's say, right? Or like, let me see when was the time. Right. Remember this three drive, four drive top on Sol, right? A lot of people try to flip bearish on this, drive top, and look at this. Initially, did give a bit of sell off and ended up ripping higher. So a lot of bear market setups like three drive, four drive tops do end up acting as a good bullish setups, right? So I know this is my thesis behind like WLD and a lot of them like giving these three drive tops. Like they still could be a trap which end up breaking higher. Same case for GRT. But for like midterm, I do think they'd cool off a bit, to be honest. Like, yeah, short term, I do expect like to them to, blow out the three drive shots. After that, let's see, because like things AI things have gone insane. Like they have gone anywhere between 3x, 4x, 5x, 7x in the like past 2 weeks only, right? I'm not saying that if things run strong, start flipping bearish on them just because they are up too much. We have seen in past when like strong narratives hit, how things can keep on going, right? Like for example, if you remember the meta narrative, or like how insane AXS ran. So we know like there are sometimes such strong narratives that keep on running. But let's see what not meta, like what AI coins do. For now, like I'm more interested in some other stuff. If Eli gave 10.8, 10. That's good. So did he give a limit, or like he called out 10.5 earlier? Okay, that's good. Alts overall will cool off or pump now. We'll talk about my take on alts rotation. Don't worry. Uh, do we have anything like to talk about in general? If you people have to share anything on how you are positioned and what you think about the current market, thoughts on GMX. Ira has been mentioning to buy depths, but I would love to be honest. I don't know. Like, uh, I have never followed this coin. I I've barely traded this coin, so I don't know much about what to say on it. Yeah. Isn't GMX one of the DEX coins, if I'm not wrong? If anyone can correct me. Yeah. I'm surprised to see like while other DEX coins are going went insane, like not right now, like Sushi, DYDX, Uni, right? After that Uni news, but like GMX did almost nothing. Because I remember it used to this coin used to move good with other DEX coins. Like remember the Binance FUD days, right? Like whenever there was a Binance FUD, the DEX coin started running. Uh, right, coins like DYDX, GMX, these used to be good trades. So yeah. What do you think BTC top will be? I think like if I have to give my high time frame thoughts, and I said that when we were on stream with Nick, I think like day before yesterday night, right? And I said that like we were trading somewhere around like 53, 54, and I said that like in my experience of trading, I have never seen alt chart, right? And why am I giving example of alt? Because like y- you don't see BTC breaking all time highs that often, right? With this structure. But so in my trading experience, I haven't seen a alt chart that have these previous all time highs like these, like double top all time highs, and price goes this close to all time highs and ends up marking out the top, right? So I do expect break of all time highs. What happens after that is yet to be seen. uh, uh, Talking about Dixcoin, yeah, I will check through. Don't worry. Like once we in like go past general discussion on the market, we'll move on to specific alts. What about the length of the cycle? We are close to all-time high at 6 weeks out, which is well ahead of other cycles out from halving. I am personally not a fan of comparing last cycles with current one, right? Like a lot of comparisons that people were expecting went wrong, right? Like people expected, I remember like when we got this sell off, if you remember post ETF top around 48K, right? People started comparing this with this rejection we had and expecting a deeper pullback towards like these highs, and then ends up going back. So I know I'm personally not a fan of comparing blast cycles. Every cycle in my opinion is much different than the other. And the question about how long it would last, I don't know. I have said this in almost every stream that I am not a macro trader, neither am I a long term investor in the market. Like the day I become a long term investor of the market is the day I'd start, focusing on how long the cycle could last, or, studying the macro, studying the, everything that takes in behind a stage of cycle, right? But since I am not, I don't care about that. I am a midterm trader. The spot I bought right now, I'd be probably selling for like a 50, 150% move. That's it. So how long? Yeah, you retard. I expected, you to keep on repeating the question. But breaking all time high before halving, isn't that way too fast? Like, if you said that here, I might would have agreed with you, right? Like, What happened? Yeah, if when we were like around 50 to 53, even below that. Now that we are like, how much far away we are from all time highs? Like just 6K. I don't think we are that far away to say that it can't happen. Uh, when is an yeah, ETH ETF is due, but those deadlines can keep on extending. What do you think happens around the halving time after halving? To be honest, I don't know. It's as simple as that. I won't come here and try to act as a macro expert or halving expert. I don't even remember when's the exact date of halving. No, I know it can happen, but the top people thought around 100. Isn't that the super low if we break all time high? No. You are can we get past like having such high targets? Why not just dive in the coming week or two? That's where my expertise are, not telling people what the prices would be in like next 5 months. uh HBJ thoughts on PYR PHP, can't decide which one to buy. I think instead of uh, like selecting which coin to buy, you should first select which narrative to buy, right? Like PYR is the gaming one, PHP is the AI one. Like, but if you ask me with pure, TA based, PHP chart is way more better looking than PYR. Like PYR is just doing nothing ever since it broke out of the accumulation, while PHP is almost at all-time highs. Uh, but overall, looking at this vertical up move, I think top target should be a bit above. Okay, thanks, Uji. Why you think for RV narrative good potential? Just looking at what Ondo did, right? The best way to gauge if a narrative is bullish or not is the price itself. So, what's your average for APT? I haven't calculated it. I think it would be anywhere around like. So I had my first entry at uh what was the price? 11.6. Got some around like $11. So yeah, somewhere I think around like 11.3 ish. I'd say. Yeah. What else do we have to talk about? When looking at breaks upwards over critical levels for trades, do you become more aggressive as the bull goes on? I anticipate the break rather than wait. Break upwards over critical levels for trade. Goes in, I anticipate the break rather than wait. Okay, so you mean like entering before a level gets broken, or like entering before a trend gets broken, right? I'd say I'd I would have never done it in like weaker conditions in bear market conditions, but I think that strategy works, especially like trend breaks, right? Like I remember just in my early days, just drawing a meme line and catching an instant 15% move out of it in up only days. So entering pre-breakout trades in bull market works great, especially like if it's diagonal meme line breaks. Horizontal ones, I'd still say you should wait for some like higher time frame acceptance above, but diagonal ones you could enter pre-breakout. Mhm. It worked. What worked? A B C D E. Yeah. Is Elliott wave still a thing? XRP looking to break 2 years resistance. Immediately, someone posted like a laugh react on it. Uh, so, yeah, I agree. Like, even though as much as I hate this coin, but I'd say, and I've been saying this for the past streams, that like once we get closer to previous all-time highs and the retail starts to kick in, you can already see Dodge, XRP, and Cardano up good on the day, right, today. And I do think like short term, these like last cycles, Dino coin, retail's favorite coins, like YouTubers' favorite coins, these could give some good, short term mean reversion. So we are talking about coins like XRP, Dodge, Cardano, Atom, Matic, right? So like whenever you search crypto on YouTube, these are like the top picks of all the YouTubers. So yeah, these are kind of coins that could like short term be good trades. Definitely not like betting your house and expecting them to break their previous all time highs, but at least for a good mean reversion, considering how much they have been lagging this entire run up. Justin, 1.3 million asset manager Morgan Stanley is now considering offering SPA. Did he decide for BTC to like reach all time highs to then offer the service? Good time for APT. What's the price? I think like you can try to scale in, but if you are following my call, try to get in closer to my entry. So I gave the call around 11.6. I have an every average entry around 11.3. I still have bids around like 10 point um 8, 10.7, and last one are 10.5. So yeah. APT, I'm going to accumulate the dips. Okay, coming back to the like BTC, I'm not a fan of giving high time frame thoughts on BTC yet, right? For that, I'd want to see a bit more price action than just this like vertical up only price action on lower time frame. What I think of this blow off top is that one of my favorite Burj Khalifa patterns to play for bullish continuation is that you get this initial Burj Khalifa down, right? You don't get into position right away. You wait for the sweep of the Burj Khalifa lows, right? So like something like this, right? Like if I have to portray the structure, so something like this goes up, Burj Khalifa down, right? Now bounce up, right? Shorts covering bounce, and then you wait for something like this, right? For like these lows to get swept out, and that's where we bottom, right? So that's what I am looking on BTC intraday, that you have these lows down there. We get a slow bleed down on BTC and then enter back at the reclaim. And this like entire gray area is a big high time frame confluence for me. Like this is the last weekly level I have on this BTC chart, right? So as long as we are holding above this weekly level, which is like from 59.2 up till 60K, as long as we are holding above this on intraday, I'd try alts position. So but for now I'm waiting for the sweep of these last intraday lows that we made on BTC, something like this. As soon as I see reclaim back above this weekly level, I'd start getting into alts leverage position. Now talking about uh, what to expect on the alts rotation, I think that's the one big question that everyone has in their mind, that when would we get the alts rotation. I think Lena is strongest. Chinese will say, first of all, Jasmine is like Japanese coin, not Chinese. um so on alts rotation, I have a bullish confluence and I have a bearish confluence, right? The bullish confluence I have to expect this blow of top to be the trigger for alt season coming in, is that if you observe the past run we had, and like when we bottomed from 28K, if you people remember, like in when was it, like late October, early November, right, when this initial bull run started, this was like I could see this last move, this like current move up, be like very very similar to this move up from yesterday, right? Like ever since we bottomed at 50K, right? So if I have to draw, similarities between these runs, this was also the time dominance went insane, right? Alts literally did nothing; they were just getting dragged up like 4-5%. And when did the alts rotation start? It was when BTC gave this blow off top, right? So if you zoom in on lower time frame, this was typically like a Burj Khalifa rejection where like BTC went up almost 32 to 36, which is like a 4K candle, and we got instant rejection from the high, similar to what we got from 64K right now, right? And then was the time we got the range on BTC and alt rotation, and like a 2-3 weeks alt season started, right? So that's kind of my bullish confidence for alt rotation right now. So usually if you get like a, you know constant dominance led BTC grind up that ends with a blow of top, that's where alt rotation begin, right? Now when I watch this current price action, this is my bullish confidence for expecting alts rotation, right? So dominance led move up, constant grind, now ends with a blow off top. Now this is somewhere I could, like, if BTC holds above this weekly level, this is where I could expect alts rotation, right? Now this is my bullish confidence. Now something that still makes me a bit conflicted is looking at the dominance weekly chart, right? And we have talked about this in the past streams, right? A dominance breaking out of this, like every time, right? The odds rotation has been pretty simple, right? You just had to play this range on dominance ever since, like, this range began, ever since this run started, right? Like early October last year. And every time it went closer to 54 was the time for alts rotation, right? 54 alts rotation, 54 55 alts rotation, 54 55 alts rotation, and once again, like, this is the pattern which has been happening for like the past 4 times. Now what if we look at this weekly chart, and this is the time, like, let's say this is not a dominance chart, right? This is some alt chart you are looking at. And when I look at this weekly chart, and when I see dominance breaking out of almost like a, you know how much of a range it is, it's almost like a 4-5 months range it's breaking out of, right? Now, would I be bearish on a chart that's like, breaking above this macro level, which you can see from the past, and breaking out of a 5 month range? No, I won't be, right? So, this is something I'm conflicted on, right? Like, when I look at this BTC intraday price action and this blow off top, and I compare it to the last time we had the blow off top, it did indicate a good alts rotation coming in, right? But on the other hand, when I see dominance, uh, breaking out of this weekly accumulation, which was basically, the range where all the alts rotation happened for like the past 4 months, that's somewhere I get a bit conflicted, right? Like, I'd love to see dominance doing what it did the last time we were at these levels, right? So the last time in like early December, we did went to 55 level, but the weekly ended up just wicking down, and that was an indication of a good alts rotation coming in. So I don't know. This could just be similar to this, just forms a wick and goes back down. But yeah, I think a weekly close on dominance would be really telling on what to expect on the alts rotation. But yeah, but this is like more higher time frame, right? Low, like short term intraday, I do think this blow off top brings in some alts rotation. Like, you can already see how, some of the coins have already started showing strength against this BTC rejection, like coins like Sol, INJ, right? So yeah, that's like my initial thoughts on the market. But you still wait for bleed back down to get into positions. On BTC, yes, I want that Vic for. Thoughts on Zeta? Just wait a minute. Once we are like done with overall market thoughts. We'll move on to specific alts. Do you think the VIX on alts? Uh, no, I don't think so. To be honest, like if alts were going insane, I could have expected wick fills. Like the last time we had such flush, which was basically, I think, yeah, r- uh, this was the time, right? If you people remember the flush we got from uh 45 44k, right? This was basically the range and the time where alts went insane for like 2 3 weeks. The market got super over leveraged. We got the flush. We got initial bounces on alts, and while BTC ranged, most of the alts revisited their wick lows, right? But right now, considering like most of the alts have already been lagging a lot, right? So I don't know, like especially on the stronger ones, right? Like INJ, Sol, and stuff like that. I do doubt that they fill in the wick lows. Uh, but yeah, let's see. I think like BTC is something I am expecting to fill in the wick. Alts, I doubt, but let's see. Let's see. Like I'd be more clear to observe how alts are behaving when like BTC goes for the wick lows fill, right? Would be better able to draw conclusion then. How should we play Sol now? Feels buy a spot, man. Just buy a spot. I said that in my last stream too. Higher ETH goes, more bullish you should be on Sol, because eventually once like hype calms down, ETF hype calms down, all the excess rotation comes back to Sol. Sol would in the end up being the top leading L1 of the cycle of this cycle, to be honest. So but at the same time, as long as ETH narrative is there, you could expect Sol to keep on lagging, right? Which means that trading Sol on leverage would be a big pain. So best to just buy a spot, right? And I've been saying that for INJ too, right? And if you followed that, you would be up good, right? Like we have been talking about. I even gave out the official call for the INJ spot. And if you accumulated INJ at range lows on spot and ignored the intraday, lag and chop, it would be up really good. Do that the same on Sol too. Eventually, Sol would end up running much higher. So instead of trying to trade this chop on Sol, because it does get a bit difficult considering, right? Like every time ETH starts running, alt starts, Sol to BTC starts lagging a lot. So it does get difficult to trade Sol on, lower time frame leverage. So best to just buy a spot and just wait for the next run on Sol. BTC already failed wick on you. Which wick are you talking about? The last flash one, did it? No, it didn't. Which exchange are you looking at? Don't tell me you're looking at some like KuCoin or yeah. Why on earth would you look at Bitfinex chart, man? Like, yeah, it's good to look at Phoenix flow, but not the chart, man. Like, I don't even know what's the exact ticket for the Phoenix chart. Is it BTC USD or USDT? Do you like when? Yeah, do like your new identity. Uh, APT was super strong while BTC crashed. What's that telling us? It's telling you the like where market interest is. Uh, for small account, is 3-5x leverage a good idea? No, man. For God's sake, it's not a good idea. Please no. Like for example, let's say this morning you decided to take a 5x leverage on INJ, right? And then it went down almost like 17%. Yeah, you might be end up getting safe, but I have two reasons against it, right? First, what if you get like, that 45k flush repeats and you get like those 30% wicks down, right? Imagine getting liquidated on a high conviction play, on a good size play, which eventually ends up getting higher just because you were greedy to get like 3 4 5x leverage, right? Secondly, just look at how insane the fundings, like today and yesterday was a good example on how insane the fundings can go when like the euphoria hits in, right? Like today there was almost like zero point 0.1 funding across the market, and all season hasn't even started yet, right? And those fundings would go insane like as we keep on going higher. So why would you be willing to pay such fundings every single day, every single 4 hours or 8 hours? I don't know, man. Just buy a spot and don't be greedy. Man, what are you trying to convey through your blur chart? Like, HBJ, why are you constantly shilling me, Kim? Like, I know it's something that's constantly going. Wow. How bullish is this thing, man? Like, did it literally get like a 36% buyback? Insane, man. Fucking insane. I remember giving ARKM spot buys for the group like around 0.5ish, right? If I'm not wrong. It's up 4x from there. One of the things that, ARKM run make, um, reminds me is that like anything Binance is invested in a bull market, expect that to just go insane at some stage of the cycle. Like, you know, Binance Launchpad coins. You saw what happened with Cyber, right? I think no, Cyber. I might be wrong because I think like Binance invested in Cyber after it went insane, or maybe I don't know, but yeah, like most of the things Binance gets invested in, they do tend to run insane in bull market. And I think like if I have to pick my next you know bet on something Binance is invested in, I'd say meme. If I'm not wrong, Binance made some invested in meme coin, right? Invest and plus like if meme season continue, something that's right, like named meme itself. You have Binance invested in it, so you can expect it to just go insane at some time. Mm. Okay, what else do we have to do? Yo, Wolf, how you doing, brother? What advice would you give to someone that is right now almost only in BTC? I think that's good and fiat and has significant capital to allocate and want to multiply profits in current cycle. I'm a bit lost. Okay, so I think like I'd still not cut out my BTC exposure if I was in your place, because like something like, let's not consider this as a BTC chart, right? And I gave the same analogy a while ago, right? And the reason I expect like BTC to break all-time high very soon is that like from my trading experience, any of the alt chart that looks like this, that have like double top at previous all-time highs, um and the price is revisiting very closer, and it just marks out the top right there, right? I haven't seen any alt chart right like that. They're like 90% of the time those chart at least end up making new all-time highs. What could be the examples that I could give? Let's look at OP. I think OP had a similar chart, like double top at previous all-time highs, and ended up making new all-time highs. Maybe this could be example, right? So, double top at previous all-time highs. Price went closer to previous all-time highs. Did we mark a top here? No, we ended up making new all-time highs. So, I think they are like even RNDR, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, our India hasn't yet made new all-time highs, but yeah. So coming back to the discussion, so yeah, I think like still having good size BTC exposure, because if that dominance thesis play out, right? Like if dominance ends up breaking out of this higher time frame range on weekly, you could expect BTC to continue to outperform the rest of the market in coming time, right? Like let's say dominance reaches 60%. So I'd still have a decent size BTC exposure coming into, next coming few weeks. Uh, Apart from that, getting alts exposure, I'd say first one advice I'd give you is don't, you know, over diversify. First advice, right? Don't, because like right now, if you go through the group, if you go through Twitter, there would be like 20 coins that you'd find people, throwing out and having good convictions on. I'd say even more than 20, like right, like 100 of coins people are advising to buy, and advising that they'd go insane, right? So don't do that. Just follow, I think, um good 2 3 conviction plays that you can just stick to, that you can just follow up and monitor every single day, right? Instead of just getting into like 15 20 alts and over diversifying. So, and I think for that, if you like want to play super safe, right, if you have like a good really big size capital and you don't want to, right, risk on some risky stuff, then I think betting on higher caps, and especially like the past runners like Sol, INJ, even ETH, considering the ETH narrative and stuff coming up, these could be your safest bets. Because like if if playing out this entire cycle is something you want to, these past runners and ETH is something you could expect to trade much higher in coming time, right? And what do? Like, you can choose whatever you want to, right? I'm not here to sell long term investments to people. But let's say like you want to accumulate Sol, right? So you open up the high time frame chart, you set up a plan, right? Like let's say, why did I delete my Sol chart? What was there? Yeah, nothing interesting, so let's delete it. So uh let's say you have the Sol chart, right? You start with the daily chart. Let's even start with the 3-day chart, right? So for me, Sol is really bullish as long as we keep on holding above, like, I'd say it's even bullish as long as you know we are above $60, right? As long as these bear market pre-breakdown highs hold, as long as these like last 20 highs hold, right? So if I'm a long-term investor into Sol, I want to be a buyer as long as price is within this, right? I know it does seem like a really big, DC range or something, but we are talking about long term, right? Something you want to plan on for the next year or two. So if I want to accumulate Sol, what I do is just buy like 10 20% right now, and then just have a bit of size down orders down there, right? Like if in coming time you get those flash dumps and you get those pullbacks, you'd get filled, and you have a plan to follow, right? You have a coin that you just high time frame chart that you follow every single day. You buy the dips, and let's say you are in 20% and you don't get the dip, right? Then you should also be comfortable adding higher, right? Investments doesn't mean that you only add when the price is lower. Let's say Sol 120 has been a big level on higher time frame, right? You can look at this chart how it has been well respected. Let's say you get in 20% now, and you end up getting a 3-day close above. I'd be adding 20% more at the flip of 120, right? So this is what I mean. Don't of not over diversifying, right? Like let's say if you are in like 10 15 alts right now, then you can't have a plan like this for like 10 15 investments, right? On the other hand, if you are just sticking to 2 3 high conviction plays, then you can pretty much manage them throughout the cycle, right? Take scaling out, scaling in, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of advice I could give you. So if you have like good size capital, I would advise, the safest bet is betting on these past runner higher caps, because like if the returns on them might be much less compared to, if you bet on something lower cap, but the risk also increases, right? So it's always how much you are willing to risk. Yeah, just stick with good, strong past runners, right? Like if I had to give you some of my picks, it would be maybe Sol, ETH, INJ, yeah, maybe a bit in anything else. I'd say just stick to your beat. Don't end up being someone like just just selling your entire BTC exposure, right? Because with BTC ETF narrative, there would be always constant money rotation coming into BTC, right? So it's always good to keep on having BTC exposure, but yeah, some of it you can rotate into some of the past runner high cap stuff. I'm talking about safer investments, right? While what you can do is have like 4 or 5% of your capital that you just take out, and that you throw into some of lower cap on chain stuff, because if you end up losing for entire 4 5%, you won't get that much hurt. But on the other hand, if those like lower cap on chain convictions play out, you might end up making insane gains on that 4 5% of your capital, right? So yeah, so like a diversification where like out of your portfolio, like 20 to 30% always remain into BTC, remain rest 30% always remain into higher cap safer stuff like ETH, Sol, and stuff like this, and then like 4 5 or max 10% goes into really risky stuff, right? Yeah, what else do we have to talk about? What's market doing? Yeah, I hope BTC gives us that fill of the wick. Man, literally, I just checked Blur. I was thinking like, wait a minute, what time frame are you even like on Blur? Is it like a one 1 minute chart or something? I thought like uh, I thought Blur is like going insane, making new all time highs or something like this. But then I opened up like my 15-minute chart and it was literally like going horizontal. Can you do me a favor? Kick TI. TIA, what's TIA been doing? ah, I might be tempted to just scoop off a bit of this TIA pullback. Oh, this was a good pullback to buy, to be honest. $14. Yeah, I'm a strong believer of this bucket eventually, running, which is like um, Sol, INJ, SCI, TIA, right? Four of these coins. Most of them have been lagging a lot, but I do think eventually once Sol starts running and INJ starts breaking out, SCI and TIA starts doing similar too. So yeah, I think like TIA, as long as we are holding above 14.7, 14.8, might even like uh, considering how weak it is on intraday, might even fill in the wick. But as long I think it's above here, you could expect run of the highest. Like right now, it does seem like too obvious of like a double top, um, and people just flipping bearish and forgetting about how much of an insane run it gave. So to me, this does seem like a healthy cool off, right? Like a 30% pullback. I'm always a buyer of a 30% pullback on strong runners, right? And you can see how well they um, work every time TIA gave that in past. Like uh, 30, 31% pullback, bottom, another run. 28% pullback, bottom, almost a 28% pullback, right? And now once again you got almost like a 29-30% pullback. Mm, could be a good buy, to be honest. Yeah, good mention on TIA. I've been ignoring this chart for a while, but I do think it's coming closer to a bottom, to be honest. Yeah, this is my TIA plan. Like the max I expect is to maybe sweep the wick. Uh, if it does sweep the wick, because right now I don't want to overexpose myself or the group. I have like a lot of calls and spot plans running. But if market gives this opportunity where like TIA fills in this wick from today, I might even give a TIA buy for the group. I think as long as we are holding above, TIA looks good for another run higher. How funding? Is it BTC? What's the aggregated funding on BTC? Funding on Binance is 0.06? I think no. Why is my exchange? Wait, what? What? It's 0.09, man, insane. 0.09 on Binance. Let's look at the flow on BTC right now. Let me share the screen. That's something interesting to look at. Okay, let's first, before diving into individual exchange spot pairs, let's start with CoinLies. First of all, let me scan if I have something weird open up on my browser. No, I have, so I'm safe. I don't. BTC USDT pubs. Okay, before we dive down into the flow and stuff, I see a lot of people confused on the funding aspect. So yeah, having like being greedy on building 3-4x leverage long would cost you a lot in this bull market. Stop doing it. Buy a spot. Okay, coming like giving a quick overview on what funding is. Funding is basically the difference between the spot and perps trading price. Right. And let me give you an example. Let's say Sol is trading at $100, right? The spot is trading at 100 while perps, let's say, is trading at 101. I'm not exactly sure on how the maths work, like how much a dollar change brings in the change in the funding, but like just hypothetically speaking, let's say Sol is at 100 on spot and 101 on perps, which means that perps trading at a higher price than on spot, right? Which means there would be a positive funding. So positive funding means that perps are trading at a higher price than spot, right? On the other hand, let's say spot is at a higher price. Sol at spot is at 101 and on perps is at 100, which would result in a negative funding, right? So negative funding is spot trading at a higher price. Perps is positive funding is perps trading at a higher price, right? So now secondly, coming to the second point is that a lot of people take fundings as a tool of net long to net short, right? For example, positive funding always means that more longs are opening, and negative funding always means that more shorts are opening. That isn't the case, right? So you have to understand how perps and spot price could change, right? Like spot price change is pretty obvious, right? If spot price is up, meaning more spot buying. If spot price is lower, means spot is selling, right? That is obvious in spot, but on perps, you need to understand that it could uh, perps price trading at higher than spot isn't always that more longs are entering, right? It can also be the case that maybe shorts are covering, right? So shorts covering also results in price moving higher. So that could result in a positive funding. Or let's say spot like spot you have spot price, perps price. Let's say big spot positions start selling, right? If that's the case, even though there aren't new longs entering, there are no insane OI built up, but still you would have strong positive funding just because spot is selling, right? So spot is trading at a lower price that results in a higher positive funding. So positive funding isn't always the case that more longs are opening. The same case as negative funding doesn't mean that more shorts are opening and people just flip bullish because there is negative funding on something, right? So I gave an example on few shit coins in my thread where there was like ARK example where like funding was insanely negative. Like I think it was negative 2 0.2 on that day, and people were like giga longing it and being bullish on it, expecting it to squeeze just because expecting that people are really big size short on it. While it wasn't the case, what was happening was that you know there were some big size positions that were covering their longs, meaning they were just closing their long positions. So if a big size long position closes, that basically drives the perps price down, right? And they were doing that into constant spot TWAP, right? So like spot bids are holding the price while they are covering their perps position, which basically drives perp price down compared to spot bids, which basically results in a negative funding. So negative funding in that case didn't tell you that wasn't the case that more shorts are opening. So yeah, in summary, it is basically the difference between spot and perps price. It isn't an indicator of more longs or more shorts, right? So yeah, I hope it made a bit of sense. Now, how could you make sense of funding if you now include open interest and how like people are positioning and spot CVD along with funding? That might give you a clearer picture on how people are positioning for the move on the market. So yeah, let's move on to the BTC flow. I learned that you pay funding fees even. Yeah, you do. So, yeah. The insane thing to see is that we almost got a 13% OI wipeout in this like Burj Khalifa rejection from 64K. That's insane, man. Like in dollar terms, it would be, I think, convert to USD. Yeah, almost 1.7 billion in OI got either like they covered their position or they it got wiped out, which is like yeah 1.7 billion insane. I think like Talking about the high funding on Binance, like the most common trend on funding that happened on like the aggregated most exchanges is that like in this OI wipe and this Burj Khalifa rejection, funding did neutralize a bit on BTC throughout exchanges, but didn't on Binance. And my best bet would be that it isn't due to more longs opening. It would probably due to some good size spot selling on Binance, which we can see right now. Let's see. Yeah, this explains the positive funding on BTC right now, right? So people just start thinking that the fundings right now after this flash dump is like due to people aping heavy longs, but it's not. It's more due to the spot sellings. Like look at this spot selling happening on Coinbase. This is insane, man. Why is Coinbase TWAP shop selling right now? Like Coinbase buying was one of my confluences of getting spot exposure at 50K, and that's a good size spot selling on Coinbase. Let's see what's Binance doing. Yeah, look at these sales. 500 BTC, 356, 346, 278, 426. Let's look at Binance. Yeah, not much selling on Binance. I said you can retire parents. How much are you up on Blur? Lena sending now. I know, man. Like looking at these Coinbase sales, I'd love a sweep of these lows, to be honest. Okay, now let's move on to uh, alts. Let's see how uh, the regular alts are doing against BTC right now. No HP sold Blur after 25% now. Blur after 25%. Man, are you in on like 100x leverage? Man, like what breakout, man? This is what Saul is doing right now. The fuck is this breakout? Are you like bullish on this 0.6% move up? It's a breakout. You're still seeing no signs of like a good alts rotation so far, right? Like look at PTC doing this and then Sol doing the same too. Let's look at what other alts are doing. Yeah. Wow, Lena is looking strong. You were right. But at the same time, Lena is approaching these, higher time frame range. It's not like right now, but soon. Yeah, Wolf, I could agree with what you are looking at dominance, but at the same time, like when we talked about this weekly chart, we did talk about it's at the level the last time we formed this wick on weekly, right? So yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah, dominance is cooling off a bit. But I still don't see like a really convincing all setup. Like one I could find is on Ondo, right? Like my favorite setup right now, which is that a strong runner that goes into some short term accumulation, breaks down of it, gives you a fake breakout deviation, you long back at acceptance above. So if we get this similar on Ondo, which I am looking at, is that if Ondo starts accepting back above 40 cents, that's my trigger to try along. So Ondo is something I'm looking at. What other convincing alt setup we could have? STX is another one which I'm eyeing at. The reason being that it just swept its previous all-time highs, 3.2, and in these conditions, it's really rare that something that visits previous all-time high and then just marks out the top. Most of the break of previous all-time high and rejections we have seen, do get instantly bought back up. So I'm looking for some lower time frame intraday triggers on STX. Plus STX is always uh, a good BTC beta play to take. Yeah, but I at first loved the sweep of the lows, to be honest. uh, FET? I do feel bad on not placing sting bets today, to be honest. Like, yesterday I did mention that we'd soon play some sting bets for a flash dump, but then I completely forgot about it. We could have gotten decent quick fills. Yeah, insane strength on FET. This makes me think, what's WLD doing? Yeah, it's good that we closed our long in profits. Yeah, you always promise the kinds of things. Uh, yeah, I should have placed. To be honest, it happened so fast. I didn't expect it to like happen instantly. Like BTC just giving this blow off top. I did expect like a bit of range to trap people and then pull off. Like I had my flash dump triggers like literally 10 minutes before I posted that fundings and OIR looking insane for a flush soon. If it had happened like a few hours later, I would have placed some limits, but yeah. Yeah, what would be looking for on BTC before going long or short? We did discuss about it, no? So the triggers I'm looking for is that 59 till 60 is a big weekly level, the like kind of the last weekly level I have. And one of my favorite structures to trade on these Burj Khalifa rejections is that don't long at the rejection and bounce. Wait after the bounce, it goes for the sweep of the flash lows. Once it sweeps and reclaims back, that's your trigger to go long. So if something you get something like this, that's your long trigger. Short, personally not interested for now. Dominance ripping, like you people really need to get off 1 minute charts. It's doing nothing for now. Zeta looks very interesting. We can have a look on Zeta. Yo man, ARKM is I think the most insane coin right now. Which makes me think, what's MAV doing? They both did tend to move together in past. Yeah, never mind. Someone said Zeta. Yeah, Zeta does look similar. Interesting. MAV does look good, to be honest. Like, if this was a bear market, and I had something like this where we got the stop and it deviated back into the range, it would have been a good short setup. Yeah, good mention on Zeta. Let's look at the flow on it. Nothing interesting on the flow side, but yeah, it does look good. I think like Zeta might be the play that I take with my BTC plan. So let's say BTC gives this uh, sweep of these flash dump lows and reclaims back. I take a Zeta long. And considering Zeta keeps on holding above this level while BTC sweeps the lows, yeah, looks good. Now look, yeah, yeah, Kim is going insane. Good mention. Manta. Hmm. The only issue with these like newer coin listings like Manta, NFP Dim, Alt, all of these stuff that went insane past weeks, they're showing some, not much market interest lately, like for the past 3 4 days, apart from Mondo. So I think I'd much rather focus on some. It might be a bottom here, but I find some other coins looking better on intraday than these. Yeah, I think I found my setup to take. Just waiting for this BTC sweep, we take a Zeta long, given that this shitcoin doesn't start running before we get that. Find us another setup. Why do you want another setup? I think in these market conditions, just sticking to one or two setups is much better than over diversifying in multiple positions. And this look at this retest on RNDR. RNDR is also one of the coins to keep an eye on. Like as long as we are holding above 6.7, it does look good for a run up. Now, what are the triggers you could look for? It does look good, man. Like, yeah, if like BTC, yeah, if you ask about finding another setup. So, if BTC gives the sweep of lows and give me these triggers, then RNDR might be a coin that I try a position. Like, considering it's one of the few alts. There might be a lot others too, but it's one of the alts that still is within its lower time frame range, despite this today's flush. So these kind of alts that are holding well, their lower time frame structure are the ones that would give the strongest buyback once the alts rotation start. So yeah, R&D looks good. So yeah, in summary, RNDR and Zeta, these two coins I try along if BTC gives the sweep. And the reason, I forgot that you only do spot. So yeah, you can do RNDR. What about hmm, what about Uma? I think I took my TP1 and got stopped break even on the remaining. Now I'm not really that interested because like the setup I had was, let me zoom out. Wow, what insane looking 12-hour candle. So the setup I had was this 4-hour candle is even more hilarious than the 12-hour. So yeah, the setup I had was these previous lows, right? A deviation below, got acceptance back above, broke out of this downtrend. Now that's where you could expect a good scam run out of such shit coins, right? It did give that, gave like a 13% move up. I did expect it to run higher. That's why I didn't TP fully, but uh, considering that my like half of the bias and my thesis has already played out, now I don't have much, you know, interest on it until like in coming time it just consolidates here for a while. Then I might be interested again, but for now, like most of my thesis already played out. It doesn't matter if you trade 7 to 7.7 or 8 to 8.8, it both trading leverages. Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%. This is what I tell people, that I don't find the reason of people getting into FOMO. Like, you should get into FOMO if you're not in like spot exposure, or like if you're more of an investor and stuff like that. Prices do matter for investors, but for traders, prices really don't matter, right? um, Conditions matter much more than the prices itself, right? Like, I find this really absurd of a logic which people give, that you didn't like, let's say you weren't longing. What example I could give? Like, mm, yeah, let's say like, you know people start giving examples. You weren't longing Sol when it was at 102. Why are now you are willing to long Sol when it's at 107? My point is that my probability of winning is much more if I wait for a flip higher and better market conditions than trying to knife catch here, right? Both could give me a 5-7% intraday move to catch, but I'd much rather prefer longing at 107 compared to 100, because in the end prices don't matter. What matters is that, catching volatility in better conditions instead of, focusing on I missed $100 long. Now why would I long it at 107, right? So it's absurd logic to have. Can you please show your BTC analysis one more time and the levels? Okay, I'll go over it one last time. So on higher time frame, this is the last weekly level I have. This like entire gray area, which is like 60-ish down till 59.2. So on intraday, what I have is what I want to see, and want the structure to play out is not to get into longs at the initial bounce of this flash dump. I want to see the flash dump lows get swept out, and then if this weekly level like 60K gets reclaimed back, that's my long trigger. So this is what I'm waiting for. I hate people bragging after the fact anyway. Yeah, to be honest, just in coming days, try to limit your use of Twitter and CT, especially CT. Yeah. I think it's been almost, I think like a week I have opened Twitter, to be honest. Like, first of all, due to Twitter being banned in my country, so I have to like turn on my VPN and then access Twitter. So I don't want to get in the hassle. Secondly, I just want to cut out the noise. Not saying that it's a bad place to be. I still think it's one of the best communities to learn, but at the same time, it's also one of the shittiest place to be, where people are just flexing and fudding and creating euphoria and everything at the same time. So yeah, just limit your use of Twitter in coming days and stick to your conviction and your place. Um, do you think, aside of gaming and AI narrative, that we could have success if we launch, if we what? At first, I thought that like you are proposing something, serious, or something we could have a discussion about. Yeah. Why is it going down? Yeah, this is kind of reaction people always have. I do love this cat reaction. I have it saved in my stickers collection too. Where is it? Yeah, this one. This cat got pretty famous. Should have logged Sol. I'm pretty sure, like, even though I have not opened Sol chart, but it would be like 1% up max. Yeah, 1.4%, my bad. Yo, Rahim, how you doing, brother? You really had to put that bug. How it was a good decision closing WLD in profits. Yes, all moon. I think uh, we can even go with what. Let's even outtrade. What was his name? Mayan. Right. Let's outtrade him and let's open up a 5 second chart. So what I have on 5 second is this is a good level that's getting flipped. So let's long here on this 5 second flip with a 0.6% stop loss and a 1.4% TP. Wow, we are already up like what? We are already up 0.2 hour. Let's go. Yeah, soon parents retired. Uh, I have to go tell my father. Ah, shit. This doesn't look good. Ah, no. Now it does look good. Sorry. uh, it's going to 150 right now. Are you basing 150 targets on a 1 minute chart? Like looking at this 5 second, it does look like it's going to 200. Because look at this big, uh, yeah, big 1 hour accumulation it broke out of. What else do we have to talk about, like on a serious note? What are the strongest buyback on alts you see today? Right, like I could see one on Lena. APT initially did give a strong buyback. Now it's just chopping around. ING initially also did give a strong buyback, but now it's also chopping around. APT, INJ. Yeah, FET. FET, I agree. Yup. Insane. Like, looking at this FET run and strength, I would have expected WLD to do something similar too, but just look at the sell off on WLD. What's other AI coins doing? Let's look at GRT. Wow, GRT does look good. Wow, yeah, GRT looks really good. I think like if you ignore WLD, WLD is the only AI that's like shitting the bed right now. What's Ocean doing? Yeah, Ocean with a strong buyback too. So I guess AI coins are leading in the recovery. Ajax, yeah, not bad. This Ajax chart looks nice. Let's hope. Looking at the AI strength, I could also expect RNDR to run. To be honest, so yeah, let's wait for this BTC sweep down. Then I think my top picks would be maybe Zeta, mm, GRT, Ajax, RNDR. Yeah, these would be my top picks. So kind of like AI coins excluding WLD and few others like Zeta and yeah, just Zeta. What are your thoughts on Ondo? We did talk about Ondo. So wow, we got uh, in our imaginary position. We got stopped out. How could this 5 second chart go wrong? uh, mm, what was I about to search? Ondo, yeah. So on high time frame, Ondo is still one of the bullish charts that's like constantly running into price discovery. On if someone is looking for some Ondo exposure, I think Nick has given some really good bids that I like around these previous all-time highs retest and this 4-hour demand. So if you do get this pullback, that would be a great opportunity to get some swing exposure. So anything around like 32, 3200, 3300, that's a great place to get some spot exposure. On intraday, I'm looking at something like this where you have this a strong past runner that goes into horizontal top accumulation or distribution accumulation, whatever you call it, and then gives you a fake breakout, and then you long at the reclaim back above. So this is what I am looking for Ondo. I want to long some Ajax, to be honest. It looks really good. Yeah, GRT and AJX my favorite coins right now. Shouldn't we place limits for AJX R&R now? Mm, you can, but in these volatile conditions, I much rather prefer to market in like you don't know how these alts would react if BTC goes for this sweep. So just market enter as soon as you see sweep and reclaim. Let's look at the flow on R&R. Wow, strong spot bids on R&R to be honest. But to be honest, I'd love this BTC sweep and getting R&R closer to this 30-minute SR. That way we could have a better invalidation, like a 6% invalidation below these wick lows. 7.5 billion today, man, insane. Any good tutorial you can recommend to look at flow? I think if I don't know exactly, but in the Pat's MSM course, he has some flow section. Maybe I'm not sure. You can look at that, or there might be some resources pinned in the order flow section as well. Did anyone took a screenshot of the render plan? I don't have a render plan. I'm just looking to market enter as soon as I get. So like the plan I have is that on higher time frame, as long as we are holding above these previous highs flip, which is 6.7, our India does look good for a move up towards 10 at some point of the market stage. On intraday, the reason I am bullish on RNDR is it's one of the alts that still holding its lower time frame range despite this alts flush. And these kind of alts tend to be the one that give you the strongest, buyback. And at the same time, looking at the AI coin strength, RNDR is a good coin that runs well with AI coins running. Just waiting for this BTC sweep. RNDR, Ajax, and GRT. I'd have to pick maybe one or two out of these. Yeah, Ajax looks really good, man. Wow, Ajax almost gave a 25% wick lower. So if we have this invalidation like below this level, it would still be a 6%. Hmm. Yeah, just give us the sweep. So I gradually started scaling into R&DR and Ajax. I'm in 50% on both, and once we get this PTC sweep, we add the remaining 50%. And manual invalidation and invalidations, which I have, is R&D are losing 7.15 and Ajax basically losing 69, 0.69. They both look really good. uh, Today was the last day for Pat. I'm sad. Yeah, true. Pat is one of the people I've been like observing and learning since like my day one in WG. Let's leave a good goodbye message for Pat on general chat. Why is he leaving? I didn't. I think everyone has their own plan and what they want to achieve in the future, right? So R&D needs to close above 7.4. I love how specific you are, right? So you don't need a close above 7.5. You need a close above 7.499. That's that's insane. And then you are in. That's good. That's good. Do you have a favorite mid small cap to hold for the end of bull run? No, I don't think so. What can we do for Pat? Just wish him best of luck, no? Can we actually buy a raccoon? That's nice. I don't think you would need to buy it. Just like go outside and catch one. Yeah. Yeah, R&D and Ajax both look good. Let's see. I want to add more, but I also want to see this before I add more. You are in 11 trades. Man, like, I do salute you because, like, you are trading 1 minute charts, that too on 11 positions. So you are basically monitoring 11 1 minute charts. Insane. Let me post a clear chart of RNDR and Ajax in my challenge. Okay, I go now. Time to sleep. Yeah, it's good to have some sleep soon. I think I'll be ending the stream soon as well. So in the next 5-10 minutes, if you people have like anything to talk about, no more like alts request or charts request. Just like any general discussion or anything you want to talk about because I'm like done charting now. Probably like uh these are the three charts I'd be just observing. RNDR, Ajax, and BTC. BTC because I want to see this happening soon. This is where I'd be adding the remaining 50% on Ajax and RNDR, and then just observe these two charts. Uh, ING going good. Is it? I have a good size ING spot. I hope it, like my targets are towards $50. I hope we get that very soon. Yeah, it's looking good. Yeah, looks great. How about WG meeting, man? Heard about. I'm not up to date about it, but yeah, I think it's happening soon. You made 10% of your net worth on Sol? Seriously, like, how much? Like, what was the RR on your Sol trade? Wow, even Ondo is giving this deviation back. I don't want to over risk, but if anyone wants, like, if this 30-minute closes above, it would print a good deviation setup. But I'll just stick to R&D. Yeah, R&D is looking insane. That's good. 12 hour, wow. You are really interesting. But yeah, just like seems that whatever you are doing is working for you. Just like manage risk, right? Um, I have in my spot bag around 50 coins. What? 50 coins? This is definitely not a good strategy. 110% not. How do you even manage 50? So 50, having 50 coins in your bag means that you are in 50 trades right now, right? Even if those are your swings, those are your investments, you still need to take each individual investment as an individual trade, right? How on earth do you plan on managing 50 trades at a time? Because what happens is, now, since you have 50 coins in your spot account, now you are not managing those trades as individual. You are just managing your account balance, right? So if on any day your balance goes up, you get, euphoric. If that balance goes down, you start panicking, right? While there might be some coins that are moving, on their own, which most of them do, right, when they start running, while there are things that are lagging a lot, right? So I don't know, this is never a good investment, a good strategy of having, over diversifying, especially like 50 coins. That's super insane and super stupid. Just stick to like 4 5 coins max in which you have good conviction, because then you are able to manage those investments as individual trades, right? Not um let me give you an example. Let's say market is going down, right? But on the other hand, um I have RNDR that's holding well above these, previous highs retest. Would I start panicking and selling my exposure just because I am a little down on the day, while it's at a major level that it is high likely that it holds and goes back up, right? But like, now, since I am in 50 coins, which like RNDR is one of those 50 coins, I might end up panic selling just because I didn't look at RNDR chart or my RNDR plan. I was just looking at my balance as a whole, right? So instead of managing your account balance, start to manage your investments as individual trades, and you do much better in midterm. um, doesn't matter if they are on stake or not, right? You, if you are putting your money into anything, you should always have a plan and how you are going to manage it, right? How do you plan on managing 50 investments, man? Like, never a good decision. I don't know. uh how often are your streams? I think in coming days I'd probably be streaming every day, so yeah. I have two time zones in which I trade. One is this, and the other one is, I think, 3 a.m. EST, and the one is which we are streaming right now. Uh, how do you layer in your bias when buying spot? Let's say you will deploy 10K. What percentage? I think we talked about, let's say you want to accumulate Sol, and um, I think, like, for in buying, first of all, you said how many trades are you max exposed to? I'd say not anything more than like three, four, right? And I'm talking about like high conviction swing plays, right? I might time to time buy some small size spot on some shit coin. I expect to, scam run in coming time. That's different, right? That's kind of like, a small bet on something that's like a short term shit coin scam run kind of a play, right? But on my good conviction plays that I size up, like plays like RNDR, INJ, um, APT, these kind of my conviction calls that I gave for the group, that would be like max three or four. That's it. I'm talking about investments, man. Daily trading is different, so yeah. Uh, don't fade. No one is fading you, man. Just enjoy your profits, man. Um, so yeah, that's it from our side. Hope you people had a good time. See you people soon. One final advice I'd give before ending the stream is, st- like, do whatever for fun, for making some small gains on lower time frame moves. But if you're seriously taking this opportunity where we are so much close to previous all-time highs and are probably going to run higher in coming weeks, as an opportunity to focus on 5-minute charts and make big money on small moves, then you seriously don't deserve this bull run, because this is something you could have pretty much done in bear market too, right? This is the time to just zoom out on most of the stuff and start planning out how you are going to catch the most of the moves up in coming weeks, right? And that's definitely not going to be on intraday lower time frame leverage. uh, Definitely we all would be in lower time frame intraday trading, but don't make that as your you know goal of making big gains in a bull market. So that's it. That would be it from my side. Hope you people had a good time. Take care. See you people soon. Allah Hafiz.